Hello, folks. This is Bob Safale, and I'm really glad to have our webinar start right now. We had a little break last week because of our attendance at Freedom Fest, and boy, do we have a lot of news for you there. But before I get started, I want to make sure you all can hear me clearly. So on the upper right-hand side of your screen, most of you should see a little hand. Please click on the hand if you can hear me clearly. So if anybody ever, if you can hear me, just click on your hand, click it back and forth. Thank you, Todd. Just want to make sure you all can hear me. Anybody else, just click on your hand. Good, good. So we are very excited about what happened last week, as I am sure you will be. But before we get into that, I want to remind everybody the purpose of our webinars here, and we're going to be adding a new feature, and I'm going to talk about that more with Freedom Fest, what happened there. But I want to remind everybody the first two major features of this webinar, we are adding a third, is we are going to be talking about trends, basically what is happening in the cryptocurrency world in the last 7 days, 30 days, and 90 days. It's kind of weird. It's like you go any farther back than if you go more, you can't really go more than 90 days back or 90 days into the future because things have changed so much so quickly. So we really cover trends that are in the last 7 days, 30 days, and to a lesser extent, 90-day trends going forward. And then the second thing is we really talk about technology and what's happening in terms of blockchain, what's happening in terms of alt crypto technology, as an example, Cloudcoin. And there's now another type of differentiator in terms of technology, and that's the type of exchanges that are out there. Because there's now, because of new cryptocurrency, or should I say digital currency technologies, there are big changes in how the exchanges operate. So we will be discussing those different technical things. Now, so let's get into news. And before I get plowing into, actually, I'll talk about. I have kind of three major news features, and then I'm going to show you a prediction that we made here 2 weeks ago, and right before or right after July 4th, I made a prediction, and it looks like it's already come true, and it looks like it's ahead of schedule by approximately 11 days. So, the first thing I want to talk about in terms of news, which is really interesting, is this headline: U.S. Congress strikes positive tone on cryptocurrency. Isn't that sweet? Now, I just love it because, once you understand kind of the political side in conjunction with the financial side, you really get an idea of what's kind of happening. And as you all remember, in January and February, the sky was falling. Bitcoin was going to be at zero. I mean, it was like, and I kept on telling folks, listen. In the middle of all that doom and gloom, there was this news story about Goldman Sachs, biggest uh, uh, financial group in the world, literally. I mean, they're as big as it gets in terms of bankers. There's this little news morsel. I think it was in February. I could be wrong. But I think in February, there's a little news story about how Goldman Sachs was going to open up a trading desk. And for those who maybe not completely, into the financial world, that merely meant that they were going to be buying and selling on behalf of their clients' cryptocurrencies. So that little news story told me everything I needed to know. It's almost like I knew, well, as long as those cats at Goldman Sachs are in the game, everything is going to be fine. Why? Because if they're involved, they're going to make sure their clients are making money. And if you know anything about the political structure of the United States, you will also know that Goldman Sachs leadership, it's almost like a revolving door. It's kind of like, I don't know if it's a revolving door, but the top leadership of Goldman Sachs from time to time will find themselves in the position of running things like being the treasurer, U.S. treasurer, the head of the Department of Treasury. And in the last, I think, 20 years, I think 3 different people from Goldman Sachs have run the Treasury Department. When you take a look at your dollar bill, you're going to see the name of whoever the Secretary of the Treasury is. Robert Rubin was a top guy at Goldman Sachs, and he was the treasurer under Clinton. I don't remember the name of the Goldman Sachs guy who ran the Treasury for the Bush administration off the top of my head, but that was another guy. So literally, if you looked at the president's administrations in almost every single presidency, it's littered with people from Goldman Sachs. So it's only natural that because there are so many people that are coming from Goldman Sachs into the political world, not necessarily as elected representatives, such as senators or presidents or congressmen, they are on the bureaucratic side. They are on the side that's unelected. They're on the side of folks that get appointed to positions. And so Goldman Sachs, they get in, they get their little noses into running the government, but they also are huge donators to congressional campaigns, senatorial campaigns, presidential campaigns. And as you can see here, all of a sudden, the U.S. Congress strikes a positive tone. They had hearings regarding I'll just read it from some of the news flash here. It says congressional hearings before the U.S. House Committee on Agriculture, which is where they handle the money, struck a positive tone towards the impact that cryptocurrency and digital assets. Very interesting that. Towards the impact of cryptocurrency and digital assets. Those are those alternative digital coins I'm telling you about. So now you're going to start seeing this phrase, digital assets. Cloudcoin is a digital asset, as an example. It's not a cryptocurrency, it's a digital asset. And they talked about the positive impact of cryptocurrencies and digital assets. And some of the people speaking at these hearings, and essentially, if you understand how congressional hearings work, they effectively bring in witnesses and they question the witnesses about a given subject. And the nature of who the witnesses are and how friendly or unfriendly the questioning is will let you know where Congress is going. So, as an example, one of the witnesses at the congressional hearing was Scott Cooper, who's the managing partner of Andreessen Horowitz Menlo Park. For the uninitiated, there's some guys who put a huge amount of money in high-tech companies. They're gigantic venture financial people. So you had some venture guys there talking, You had a illustrious professor from Washington and Lee University School of Law talking about crypto. You had and here's you had another senior lecturer from MIT, Sloan School of Management. Now that's important to understand because MIT, Sloan School of Management, a whole lot of business people, huge icons, came from MIT Sloan School. And then last but not least, an attorney from a law firm, West Coast law firms that you may have heard recently in the news on the political side, Perkins Coie. Now, Perkins Coie, yes, they've had some, let's say, some tentacles into the political thing back and forth recently. But the fact is, they're a huge law firm operating in California with tremendous political contacts. So all of these folks that I just listed off are big in the financial world. And the fact that everybody's kind of moving, hey, crypto's great, digital assets are great, all great signs. The next news flash is now major insurance companies are all of a sudden developing insurance policies for crypto companies. Now, listen, insurance companies, if there's any type of company that abhors losses, it's the insurance world. Okay? Insurance companies do not lose money. Period. They just don't lose money. And if you want to understand the future trend of any industry, I don't care what the industry is, one of the telltale signs is whether the insurance companies are doing business in a brisk fashion in any of these industries. And let me just say this. The insurance companies are not writing policies that they think companies are going to turn around and cash in on. They're not about cashing in policies. They're all about scaring the bejesus out of folks in general. You know, I don't care what it is, whether it's health insurance, car insurance, homeowners insurance. I mean, their technique obviously is to sow fear and uncertainty into their customers so the customers will pay premiums to make sure that the stuff that the insurance companies have scared them about will be covered. So when insurance companies decide that they are going to get involved in the cryptocurrency world, they have made the determination that the cryptocurrency world is going to be around and it's not going to be a big disaster area, thereby necessitating the insurance companies to pay premiums or excuse me, pay claims. Insurance companies are not about paying claims. They don't want to pay claims. They tell you they want to pay claims, but they don't want to pay claims. So if you have insurance companies who are now saying, the cryptocurrency world, we need to write insurance policies, well, they know dang well that the insurance company trends are all going up. So what the heck? Let's write some insurance. Now, these are not little small insurance companies that are now suddenly promoting insurance policies. This is AIG, Allianz, Chubb, XL Group. These are not small insurance companies. These are the biggest in the world. So, okay, now all of a sudden these groups are now tailoring coverage options to protect businesses in the crypto space. I just love the innocuous language, don't you? Oh, yes, the insurance companies are tailoring coverage options to protect the businesses in the crypto space. This rolls off the tongue, doesn't it? Well, at any rate, once again, it's an indicator. And what you have to do when you're looking at brand new industries is take a look at where the indicators are going. Is this thing going to take off and continue to go up, 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 or is it not? Clearly, every sign that I'm now seeing points to one thing. It's going up, 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 up. Now, let's take a look And another, I tell you, I hope some of you who've been on these briefings for the last few months remember me talking about institutional investment. Now, let's just walk back for a second and let me kind of describe a formula. And the formula is, in a marketplace, if there are more buyers than sellers, the price goes up. If there are more sellers than buyers, the price goes down. And so if you're talking about cryptocurrency, what is used to buy the crypto? Well, it's money. It's investment money or money, just in general, money. So, one of the reasons you've been seeing a lot of discussion about regulatory, all of a sudden cryptocurrency is going to be regulated. A lot of people, once again, they get a little scared. Regulation, not good, not good. Well, it isn't good if it's abusive. I mean, I don't know too many kind of if there are regulations that actually help people, but then over regulation can become abusive, and then it's not helpful. So before, literally trillions of dollars from these huge institutional investors. Institutional investors are like huge pension funds, California Teachers Fund, auto workers pension fund. That gives you an example. These are enormous funds of money, hundreds of billions, even trillions of dollars of money. That's institutional investors. And if an industry has a lot of institutional investment going into it, it's going to go up. So once again, you have regulations had to be put in place before the institutions will even be allowed to put money in it, because institutional investors, they have very tough criterion about what they put money in. They can't put their money in things they think are going to blow up. There has to be enough regulatory control so that when huge funds that have monies from teachers, the pension funds of, of millions of teachers are invested in something, it's not going to blow up and all of a sudden you have millions of teachers or millions of auto workers or millions of union workers. You can't have those blow up and all of a sudden all those millions of people, their pension goes away. So that's why you have regulation. Okay? So I've been saying for months, do not be concerned when you hear that, oh no, there's going to be regulation in the crypto world. That's a good thing initially. It's a bad thing if it's overdone. It's a good thing because that's the natural sign and progression that big money is about to come into this field. And that's exactly what we're talking about. So now, look at this. As of right now, 12 hours ago, we have reporting that 56% of capital inflow right now is from institutional investors. 56%. That's a lot. And what is the natural result of that? This is a prediction I made 2 weeks ago. I said by the end of July, I felt that Bitcoin would be somewhere around $7,000. I said you're going to start seeing a nice controlled rise. Okay? And I said there would be, at the time, I think Bitcoin was about $6,000 and they just started, it stabilized. $6,000 was clearly what looked like to be the real bottom of the market. And that because all of the, there was a number of things that occurred that got rid of manipulators out of the business. I said I believe you're now going to start see a nice even rise. Now, understand in the crypto world that has gigantic ups and downs, a nice even ride would be from 6,000 to 7,000 in 1 month, which, hey, folks, that's a 16% increase in 1 month. That's 16%. Everybody's going crazy. Oh, the stock market's fantastic. Wow, great, great, great. Well, in a year, it's gone up maybe a little over 10%. And everybody's going, oh my gosh, that's fantastic, incredible. Well, with cryptocurrency, it's Bitcoin as an example, it's gone up since I made the prediction. It's gone up to look at that steady kind of rise. It's now up to about $7,400. So I look to see that listen, there's going to be some ups and downs still, but take a look at your trend here. That is an excellent sign, folks. This is good for every single currency out there. I don't care what it is. Every single one, whether it's a cryptocurrency or a digital asset. This is good for every single person. No doubt about it. And if you take a look in general at, take a look, you're now starting to have a marketplace that's not like everything green or everything red. If you take a look at this, you have some green and some red. You know what I mean? It's a bit of a maturing market, which is a good thing. So I think when we're talking about these big changes, you have Congress that are, loving all of a sudden, oh, Congress is being very positive about cryptocurrencies. And when you have major insurers, jumping in, and as you can see, you have institutional investors all piling in, all fantastic signals for the crypto world. So I'm sure many of you are here because you want to hear what the heck happened to Freedom Fest. And as a reminder, Freedom Fest is a gigantic event that involves, literally dozens and dozens and dozens and dozens of speakers, not just of the libertarian bent, but you have financial speakers, you have conservative speakers, you have business speakers. So it's a dynamite event with a lot of great companies, and it's once a year. In fact, I want to say that it's once a year. Happens out in Las Vegas. They're very interesting, and it's at this year was at the Paris Hotel, and I can tell you we did really good. Cloudcoin did really good. Celebrium did really, 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 really good. So first of all, just to give you an example of some of the people that were showing up at the Cloudcoin Celebrium booth to meet us, to see what we're doing, is we had there you see Sean is on the left side. That's Sean. In the middle is Steve Forbes. Now, I'm guessing you probably heard of Forbes magazine, right? Okay. Well, Steve Forbes is the one who runs it. He's also a presidential candidate. And next to Steve Forbes was Kevin Harrington, who was one of the Shark Tank guys. All of these guys were speakers, major speakers at Freedom Fest. And I got to tell you, Sean Worthington hit the ball out of the park. I mean, he had a tremendous applause from a lot of people, huge audience. And his 10-minute talk turned into about 15-minute talk. And they could have just kept him talking more and more. He was talking all about the perfect currency. And when you hear his talk about the perfect currency, and I think we're going to get that in our newsletter that goes out this weekend, you'll understand why everybody was applauding. So these are the kind of people we had at the booth. And we also had the one of the top, if not the top guy of BitShares. His name is Stan Larimer. And I was able to really sit down with BitShares and his top technical people to find out exactly how Cloudcoin is going to be trading on the BitShares exchange. And I learned a lot more about BitShares. And between BitShares, which is effectively run by Stan Larimer, and EOS, and that's EOS, which is another currency, which is run by Stan Larimer's son, who's a real hotshot in the crypto world. I found out that 85% of all cryptocurrency transactions are run by their technology. That isn't 10% or 2% or 5%. 85% of all transactions are run by their technology. Now I said, oh, then that's big. That's big. And he was explaining what they're doing in terms of being able to trade Cloudcoin, which is not a cryptocurrency, having it be able to trade on the BitShares platform. And now I understood why Sean had decided, and very smartly so, that that would be the first natural step, because BitShares is all about the trading back and forth of all manner of valuables, whether they're digital valuables or gold, silver, or cryptocurrencies. It's a methodology that's regulatorily done right so people can trade currencies, buy, sell, trade currencies worldwide in front of a huge audience. So I'll try to explain it as simply as possible. It is more than likely that I will have Stan Larimer on our next Thursday night briefing, because that's the third thing. We are now going to be. I'm jumping the gun here. Let me just finish off with BitShares. So the way they're going to do it is you have your Cloudcoin, you go to the exchange and you purchase, what effectively is cloud tokens. You have your cloud coins, you can buy cloud tokens. And what are those? That's like a cloud coin wrapped in a blockchain. You have a cloud coin. Essentially, you deposit your cloud coins, you acquire, we're going to call it cloud tokens, and then those tokens can be traded back and forth with every single kind of currency you can think of, from Bitcoin to Bitcoin Cash to Ethereum, you name it, so that you can then quickly liquefy your currency. Because if you have Bitcoin, you could easily liquefy and get cash. You could easily liquefy Ethereum, get cash. And the whole purpose of the BitShares is so you can take your cloud coins, exchange it for a crypto, we'll call it a cloud token, and those cloud tokens can then quickly be exchanged for other currencies, and then you can cash out. That's their first step. Now it's going to get more and more advanced, but I was very excited to hear about that because it opens up Cloudcoin to be traded and exchanged for many type of cryptocurrencies and other assets. So I thought that was true, and they are getting very close. There's just a bit more work on the BitShare side, because they're now launching a product called Quintric, which is related to crypto and gold. So there's going to be gold-backed currency on BitShares, which you can acquire with your cloud coins, as an example. So they are working very rapidly, and I can tell you right now, Stan Larimer is absolutely enthralled with Cloudcoin, and it got even better, because when Stan Larimer saw that Kevin Harrington was involved with Cloudcoin, it was like, oh my gosh, Kevin, you're involved. And we all of a sudden we found out that Kevin and Stan went way back, and that Kevin and some other of his top folks knew each other back in 2014 in the early days, of Bitcoin. And it was the credibility for Cloudcoin was immense. And then Stan learned all about what we're doing with Celebrium and celebrities, and that, obviously, we're talking about potentially having Celebrium be something that can, Celebrium memos, remember the Celebrium collectibles, can at some point in the near future or not too distant future be traded on BitShares. Now, that would be tremendous, wouldn't it? Holy smokes. So we got real excited. Now our focus is to get Cloudcoin rolling first. We're going to get the Celebrium memos rolling fast, and then explore more how those memos, we call them memos, the Celebrium collectibles, could then potentially be sold on the or exchanged on the BitShares exchange. Certainly, Stan was very excited what we're doing. Kevin's involvement with us, Kevin's involvement with Celebrium, endorsing that, Kevin Harrington's endorsement of Cloudcoin. So it's all good. On top of that, Stan wants to do another thing with us. And at this point, I want to tell you about something's about to launch. I think it launches tomorrow, involving Celebrium. So if you're a Celebrium investor, digital marketing, frontier marketing, you're about to get pretty excited. So if you think about digital frontier marketing, it's involved with using celebrities to help promote and endorse other cryptocurrencies. We get those in exchange for the services. Digital frontier marketing also distributes a portion of the coins we receive to our investors. But also, we're about to turn on our whole info products line, which will be generating not only tremendous amounts of cash for the company, for operations and distribution to our investors, but easily the number one thing that people who are interested in crypto want to get is knowledge. It is absolutely the number one item that the people in the crypto world want. They want knowledge. So we've been working on this for 3.5, 4 months, the big launch of our info product line. And info products are a multi-billion-dollar industry, billions and billions and billions of dollars. And the digital frontier marketing info product line starts with a quiz, the crypto quiz. You're going to love it. It basically, somebody does it online and it tells them exactly where they are. Are they a novice? Are they, hey, are you a novice? Are you somebody who knows a little bit, a lot of it, expert, whatever? This crypto quiz is going to grade you. It's kind of like an IQ test in crypto. And when somebody finishes the test, the very next thing that happens is they are going to be routed or sent to the educational product or service that would take them to the next step. Whether it's going to our webinars like you're on tonight, whether it's getting the new edited version of Beyond Bitcoin by Sean Worthington, whether it's going to be our new and revised digital experts course, whether it's going to be our artificial intelligence trading platform, and even we're going to be doing weekend events where people can come meet other people involved in the tech crypto world. It's going to be an event like Freedom Fest. So essentially, Digital Frontier Marketing is going to be in the near future putting on weekend events that people can come to, meet other people, and do all sorts of business related to cryptocurrency and other things. So this is info products, and the reason this is important is because we've been building a pretty good sized list, and this crypto quiz is going to generate literally thousands and thousands and thousands of new subscribers to our whole info products line every month. And as that list gets bigger and bigger and bigger, we will start doing things called, we're going to be doing joint podcasts and joint webinars, meaning I will speak at other huge podcasts, which are, which tens of thousands of people are subscribed to. And these crypto experts and business experts will be speaking at our webinars. So you're going to start seeing some of the biggest people in the crypto world coming to speak at our Thursday night webinars. And I believe our first one is Stan Larimer, which should happen next week. Now, why is this all important? Because obviously, as we get more and more subscribers, more and more people involved with digital frontier marketing, it's great for the company. It's a place where those people can learn about Celebrium collectibles. They can learn about different coins we're associated with, help drive prices up on specific coins. It helps everybody. So that whole info product thing is a big, big deal. And right now we are assembling a giant list of many, 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 many big, big podcasters. I'm talking about huge podcasters who have tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands, even millions of subscribers. And I will be speaking on their podcast. They will be speaking on our webinars. So it's very, very exciting. We started that process lining up podcasters at Freedom Fest. In fact, I was on several podcasts involving some really, really big people in the crypto world. This helps everybody, I can tell you that for sure. So that gives you an idea of just some of the things happening at Freedom Fest. I can't tell you, it's an amazing number of people who met with Sean, talked with Sean, heard him talk. These recordings went all over the world. We had people like Steve Forbes coming to the booth. We had Kevin Harrington, and it was amazing because Kevin was at our booth nearly all Friday and then came by on Saturday. And wherever he walks, you have huge numbers of people come. So it was really, really good for opportunities for both Cloudcoin and Celebrium. So as we complete certain actions because of who we met with Freedom Fest, we'll be announcing them on future webinars. We have multiple business opportunities that we're in the process of working on just from Freedom Fest. So that's tremendous. Okay, so I hope that gives you an idea of what happened at Freedom Fest and all the excitement. We were very, very happy with the results. I'm absolutely blown away by what's occurring with BitShares and what the real play. I had no idea this whole BitShares thing was as big as it is. I knew it was big, don't get me wrong. And I was very happy to understand how they were going to take Cloudcoin, which is a digital asset, somehow do a conversion so that it could be traded with other blockchain related cryptos. That was very good for me to see. So look for some more news on that in terms of the launch. We, as I said, we're good. We should have Stan here next week on Thursday night. Now, one I want to make sure everybody understands. Let's before we do our drawing, we have a ton of people here tonight. I want to make sure that everybody from this point now totally has heard about what we're doing with the price freeze. Now, you've probably seen emails regarding the Cloudcoin price freeze, and people still have questions about it. Let me just restate what we're talking about, just so everybody understands, because after this week, I don't want anybody saying I didn't know that the price freezes were ending. Here's what I meant by that. 3 to 6 months ago, a large number of people purchased Cloudcoin. And at that time, I said, whatever the price is that you paid at that time, you have either a 3-month price freeze, meaning you could come back in 90 days and buy more, or some of you even had a 6-month price freeze, okay, depending on how many you bought. Those 3-month freezes and 6-month freezes are ending. Many of those deadlines ended in the last 2 weeks. There are still some left. And I just wanted to make sure, I hope you don't mind me continue to remind everybody of the price freeze ending, because we really don't want to have a situation where anybody emails me a month from now and said, hey, I want to take my option to buy coins at blah de blah, and I have to tell them, hey, that's over, because they are over. Okay, with the last group ends this weekend. So many of you who had the price freeze, it's over already. You know, there's a portion of you that still have some days left. Now, if you don't know, if you didn't hear this before, I'm sorry. If you have a question whether you had a price freeze and are you still eligible, you can email me, Bob at digitalcurrencygrowth.com. Bob at digitalcurrencygrowth.com. And I will let you know what the price freeze was for you. If you're still eligible, you may not. That may be done. Because what we've done is we're trying to finish off on any freezes so that they're done. Okay. So if you are interested and still think you have eligibility, you better email me, Bob at digitalcurrencygrowth.com. Use the subject line price freeze, and I will tell you if you still are eligible. Most are not. And I'll tell you what your amount was on the eligibility, how much per coin. All right. So now that I've said it again, and this is the last time you're going to hear me about the price freeze on webinars. I may have to do one more reminder by email because we have about a third left of the people who are eligible. So just make sure, even if you think I wonder if I'm eligible. I'm interested in learning. Maybe I'm interested in getting some more. I better email just in case. Okay, so let's go ahead and do the drawing. We have a lot of people here. So here we are, and this is for 10,000 cloud coins. Boom. Let's get this little baby going here. We have a ton of people here. Let me do this. Okay, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, number 56. Boy, I think last week or the week before was number 55. So that's kind of coincidental. Okay, number 56. Whoever got in here, the 56th person who arrived in our thing have won. I'll notify you within 48 hours. Next week, remember, same time, same station, 8 o'clock. Do not miss it because we may very well have Stan Larimer here, but we should have at least one major speaker. So I hope you enjoyed our talk tonight, and I hope you enjoyed the news regarding Freedom Fest and all the excitement with BitShares, all the excitement about info products, everything going on with Celebrium. We got a lot of stuff happening. Thanks for attending.